I recently did a video about the different ways that you can work with your oracle cards apart from just doing divination, for fun and also as a way to learn to use your oracle cards. In this video, I thought I would share with you my oracle cards and the decks that I have and how I like to use the different decks depending on the energy of the deck and also the types of directions that the deck sort of sends you in. But before I jump in and do that, hi, I'm Sandra from MysteryWitchSchool.com. If you're new to the channel and you want to learn Wicca or witchcraft, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss any videos. And if you're ready to learn Wicca in a group of like-minded people online at your own pace, then do check out the Mystery Witch School 101 12-month course. It is available for you to join at any time and it will help you practice the craft from a totally experiential point of view and not just about from reading of it. So let's dive in. The first deck I wanted to show you was the Queen of the Oracle by Stacey Demarco. Really beautiful deck. It is, the Queen of the Moon Oracle. It's very lunar. It's all based around the cycles of the moon and various different types of moons. So you know you have your harvest moon, your wolf moon, and all of the different moons. So it's based around that kind of symbolism. And what I really love about working with this deck is that it's a really good deck to work with if you're a visual person and you're wanting to work with the lunar cycles and tune your magic into the lunar cycles, and not just working with the new moon and the full moon either, but working within the different energies of each moon cycle. And you can use the really beautiful artwork on these cards to tune into various different energies. So from getting away from a divinatory point of view, obviously you can use these for divination, but I really feel that where they really come to life is if you're using them for your spell work and also using them for meditation on the different energies of the moon as she moves through her cycles and also moves through the seasons as well. The moon will have a different energy depending on its relationship to the other planets and different times of the year. So really good deck by Australian Stacey Demarco. Oracle of the Dragon Fae. Another beautiful deck. This one is by Cavendish. What I do love about this deck is that it's all very dragon themed, obviously. So if you like dragons, you'll really like this deck. I'm not so much into it for divination on a daily basis. So if you're looking at divination to give you readings about maybe events or things that are going to happen that day, I probably wouldn't use this deck because it's really more for your own personal journey, because there's a lot of characters in here that are very archetypal. So if you're wanting to work more with perhaps your inner work, your shadow work, your work on yourself and your journey, then this deck is a really good deck to use for meditation, contemplation, and just learning how you can work with the energies of this deck in your own personal life. So great for journaling, great for trying to figure out perhaps a problem of some sort. It gets you to go deeper than just a daily divination and, you know, will I get the job or won't I get the job kind of thing. Really beautiful cards again, very beautiful themes. But the energy I find with this deck is more to do with those deeper questions and looking for an energy or an archetype or even a spirit to work with to help you with something. There's quite a few archetypes here that you can work with that have really their own thought forms. So you can work with these cards to help you in some way that's other than just doing daily spell work or trying to figure out what you're going to do that day or whether something's going to work out or not. Another deck I have is the Gospel of Aradia. This one is also Stacey Demarco. It is based around the story of Aradia, the daughter of Diana, and this the imagery around the story, if you've read that from Leyland. Really beautiful story around witchcraft and a good mythic connection to the craft. It's got some absolutely gorgeous cards, and what I love about working with these cards, again, you're working more with archetypes. You're working also with deity. So again, deeper inner work, more so than divination. Of course, you can work with these for divination, but I'll be looking more for the divination that's more about the deeper things rather than, you know, am I going to win the lottery type questions. More for the deeper work and that personal exploration into the self, which is really what a lot of these cards seem to have themes around these days. We've progressed a lot in our lives where we're not just looking for things. We're not just looking for love relationships or lots of money or health. We're looking beyond that into the causes of why we may be struggling with money, relationships or health, those deeper energetic causes, and what really makes our life happy and joyful. What makes us feel empowered? You know, it's not having a lot of things. It's not even having a relationship that helps us feel the joy and the empowerment. It's our relationship with ourselves. So these cards really can help work with your relationship with yourself and developing more of an intuitive knowing about where you're going each day on your daily inner path. Magical herbs. Okay, so this one is Cheralyn Darcey. Now I have done a video on this pack particularly. I really like it as a teaching tool for the various qualities of the herbs that are in this. It also has spells that you can use with the herbs as well, and you don't need to actually have the physical herb in all of these spells. Some of the spells you really only just need to use the card and connect to the energy via the card. Great teaching tool if you want to learn about herbs, and if you're wanting to work with the energy of herbs. Great for divination. Find it really helpful for divination and advice, and also for spell work. So really good deck for that. I have a crystal pack as well. This pack here is by Toni, Carmine, Salerno, and this pack is also good for learning your crystals. So if you want to know what your crystals can be used for, great pack for learning crystals and for divination as well. I find this pack tends to have a very positive type of energy to it. So it's generally always going to show you the bright side of your problems and your questions, which is great. But sometimes you need something that's going to help you dig a bit deeper into some of the shadow stuff that you do need to work on in order to move forward. So great deck to work with if you're looking for positive solutions. Great deck to work with if you're looking for ways to learn the meanings of your gemstones, particularly if you want to use them for healing or for magical spells. Really good resource there. If you want something that is a little bit more honest to the darker aspects of self, or the things that are more challenging about life and yourself, so you're wanting to dig deep and actually do your shadow work and actually address some of the issues within yourself or within your situation that need to change, rather than just thinking positively all of the time. This deck here, the Oracle of Shadow and Light by Cavendish, really good deck for that kind of work. It is great for coming up against more of the reality of the situation. This isn't a deck that's going to be all unicorns and butterflies at all. It does tend to take you more into the more serious aspects of something that may be going on that may not be pleasant to look at. So it's more shadow than it is light. Great deck to work with when you're ready to go that little step further and look at what the negative stuff may actually be going on for you. Because you can't really clean a dish until you can see the dirt, okay? you can try, but you're not going to get all the dirt off the dish unless you can see the dirt and see that it's clean. So we need to have decks that are quite positive and decks that also go onto the darker side of things to balance that polarity. So if you're sick of always getting cards like another deck here I've got is the Messages from Your Angels, which is a really nice deck by Doreen Virtue. It's very light. You're always going to get more of a positive view on things, but sometimes you just get enough of that and you think, look, I've had enough of all of this light, positive, only thinking stuff. I really want to find out a little bit more gutsy stuff about what's going on and what I need to face. So if you're ready to face the shadow and ready to face the things that may be going wrong so that you can then turn them around to something that is more positive into the direction you want, that's when a deck like this is really, really good to have. It just balances out all of the fluffy stuff that's out there with oracle decks, because sometimes oracle decks can be annoying when you know there's a deep thing going on and all the card is telling you to do is to think love and light, and all that will solve all of your problems. Whilst that's important and certainly helps raise vibration, you do need to dig down into the dirt to find the roots of an issue most of the time, because that's where the roots of the plant live. They live in the dirt, in the shadows of the dirt. It's not all the rose is out blooming and everything. It's also got its roots down in the earth, and you have to look to the root system sometimes to find out what may be causing problems with the actual plant, if you know what I mean. Okay, so life purpose cards, Doreen Virtue, again, good for helping with life purpose if you're looking for things. I found them to be quite accurate the first time I used them. You may not be using them that often. Good to use if you work with tarot cards or oracle cards and do readings for other people, because you can bring up a card if they're asking about career or a career change or something like that. This is a good deck to use. And last, I have the Druid Animal Oracle, which is a really old deck that is by Phillip and Stephanie Carr Gomm. Beautiful deck working with animals and animal totems and the meanings of the various animals. So again, it's a good tool to use to learn about the energy of various different animals, and also to use as an oracle reading. So that's great for divination, and also if you're wanting to do work with shape-shifting. If you're wanting to do shape-shifting work with animals, it's also a good deck to work with for helping you with shape-shifting and your journeying. Of course, most of these decks that I've shown you, you can use pretty much all of them for your path workings and for your meditations and journeys. If you want to put yourself in the card and go for a journey in the card, you can use these all for spell work. You can use them all for divination. You can use them all for in conjunction with tarot card readings. So there's different ways that you can use the decks, and you can mix them up and use 2 or 3 different decks in one reading, particularly with oracle card readings, because they're very specific. Like this one's all about life purpose. So unless you want to do a reading on life purpose, you're probably not going to use these cards. So they're not always appropriate for every type of question that you have. So think of your question. Is it something that's very mundane, or is it something that goes deeper? And which deck do you have that's going to be the best deck to answer the question? Maybe you need a combination of decks to help answer a question, because it may be a complex question. There may be a mundane outcome, but there may be a deeper root cause as to why something isn't working. So you may want to take a look at maybe some of the more shadowy stuff that may be going on. You may want some inspiration as to how to move forward. And then you may want to actually have an idea of what the outcome may actually be. In that case, you would work with another deck to, I've got them all spread out in front of me now, I can't figure out which one's which, to use to help you decide, okay, what's the outcome going to be. So that was my oracle card collection. So that's all 9 of them. I will put the details of each pack in the description field below so that you know what they're called and who they're by. And I'm Sandra from mysterywitchschool.com. If you like the channel, hit the like button, share it with your friends, don't forget to subscribe. And of course, if you want to join a Wiccan group online to learn to practice Wicca with a mentor, do check out the Mystery Witch School 101 Academy. The link to that is in the description field below this video. I'll see you on the next one. Blessed be.